Hello everyone, welcome to the Apex Online Racing GT3 Elite League on PC. Whoa, get that mouthful off. And we're here at Road America. This is round number 5. And we're starting in 8th position. And this is one where I've gone a bit less from default setup because I've knocked the rear downforce down to 4 from 6. Oh, a big change. But as you can see, we're at Road America, so it's quite a fast track. And it's quite, it's mid-range in altitude. It's about 200 and odd. So obviously a lot of the Ferraris are up front, as you can see here, and we're starting in 8th position behind Fab Iceman. Obviously because a setup would make a big difference here, especially with gearing. Potentially there could be a lot more time in there, but even so, we kick off with the race. You can see how fast some of these cars are because they leave me for dead. Look at that. So coming up to this first corner, I try and get a bit cheeky here and try and go around the outside. Doesn't quite work with cold tyres and cold brakes, just lose the rear a little bit there. And Iceman still keeping that position as we head towards his right-hander now. And we're just looking here to be as safe as we can. Our teammate's up ahead in 6th position. And he's doing very well. He had a cracking qualifying and he's having a cracking race so far. As we continue on, as you can see, we're in miles of space already in this race as we head down towards this short left-hander. Road America, of course, I do like, of course, mainly because it's where I qualified for the pro class in the first multi-class championship I did. So as you can see, it's all getting a bit tight up front. Miss Van Omen, Leon, Nestorich, Iceman and myself now. As we come into here, we've got on the inside of Iceman. Who's that? Leon? Was that Leon just getting run out there a little bit? Now Iceman goes on the left hand side of Leon through this right-hander. Look how look how wide he goes. Now watch this for some insane driving. I'm not even joking. So we go on the inside of Leon. Iceman runs a little bit wide here. We're 3 wide going into this carousel. Oh my word. So what I do is I kind of let off a little bit because I'm on the very edge of the track. It's very risky to be here, but we managed 3 wide going into that. That's unbelievable driving from everybody. So well played, everyone. As we now go for the overtake on Iceman. The Iceman has a lot of pace in that car. I found out afterwards that he was using very low downforce. I think it was like 2.2 or something crazy. And along with the Ferrari twin turbo charged setup on a mid-range altitude track, it was flying. Iceman was really flying here, especially on the straights. You just see Leon lose the rear end there on that right-hander. Very bumpy part of the circuit. Got to be careful there. Just lost the rear going through that corner. So we make up a position. We're up to 7th position. Let's see what we can do in this race to make up these positions. And you'll see how fast Iceman is on here. So we've got the slipstream here, so we should catch him. But look, look how fast he's pulling away. This is insane. Now obviously this is before the bot change that has recently happened. Look at that. And, I forgot about the reaction there. Doing the go-kart thing, ducking to the below the wheel, get that slipstream. Wasn't quite working. And then into this corner we go. So we know we're not going to be able to overtake Iceman here unless we force Iceman into a mistake, because he can just fly on the straights. He gets in my slipstream, he'll be gone. Be gone before I've even done anything. And you'll see that again here. One thing to note, this is the first race I used the G29, and this is where I have a 30% dead zone. It's very sketchy at this circuit, so I always tried everything for the next race at Long Beach to try and get it sorted. Which is why, as well, the car's a bit all over the place, a lot more than normal, because obviously I try and drive as smooth as possible, but I'm struggling. And as you see there, nearly running into the back of Iceman. Who's that behind me? Grunstraw just outbrakes himself as well. As we merge to a little bit later on in the race, we're actually been catching up my teammate Starrich, and you can see up in front of that, Miss Van Omen's up there as well. So we're going to keep pushing all the same. And through we go there, no problemo, as we head towards this left-hander. This one always brake around the 2 area. That's where you brake, essentially, and if you can clip the curb, it helps. But even so, we get round there, coming into this carousel where we went 3 wide before. I still don't believe we did that. And as you see, I've only got 1 engine damage. So what I learned, and I mentioned it in the last race, is changing about 7.7, 7.8, just below 8 there. I think that was. Let's have a look what it is. Yeah, just below 8. So that's 7.9. It saves so much on the engine damage. So I started doing that, just ran a bit wide there through dirty air. The Starrich makes a mistake. Iceman goes to the right side. This is what I mean with Iceman, because he's got such low downforce on the straights. He just flies. Look at that. But obviously it affects him in the corners, which is why we had that 3 wide moment earlier on. So Iceman makes a good move there on my teammate into that next position. So at the moment I'm thinking I'll stay behind initially. If Nestorich wants to let me go, he can let me go. If not, I'll either be a clean move somewhere else. Just makes a little mistake there. Just have to back off a little bit. Perhaps running low downforce as well. But coming onto this straight, you're going to see him go to the right side, and he does flash here. to let me go, but I don't have enough pace to get I could go in the slipstream, but I'm always worried about ping distance. So rather than risk anything with ping distance and everything else, I just stay here. I let off a little bit. That indicates that I want him to come over and we can continue racing, because if if the chance comes, he can let me go in a bit better scenario. Otherwise we can keep racing, we can have fun. There's we've got a gap behind to Mark Buensi, and of course Iceman is flying anyway, so he's got a slipstream. He'll push us along very nicely indeed. As we come onto this straight again, you'll see that Nostalric, I think, is running a little bit lower downforce than I am, because I'm not catching even though I'm in the in the slipstream. Can't get my words out today. So I'm going to keep pushing here where I am. But Nostalric is about to make a big mistake into this braking zone. Just braked slightly late into there. You just see that. It's quite common there when you're in the slipstream. And I managed to overtake Nostalric there. So we do gain a position, and we're going to try and follow Iceman further on round in the circuit, and see if we can get in that slipstream to help us push us along to the next one. Remember last time I was on about the net gains? If you can use somebody to get net gains, it's always well worthwhile. So we advance only a tiny bit further on in the race. You can just see Alexis has just come out of the grass. So he's made a mistake. Iceman goes for a good move round the outside there. And we're unfortunately not going to get that. We're going to be behind Alexis. So I'm thinking maybe Alexis, I can catch up to Alexis here. If he's running a bit higher downforce, no, not a chance. Not a chance with these twin turbocharged cars and the fact that I'm struggling with speed. So let's push a little bit further on. 1 lap later, he's got a 2-second penalty, so that's kind of handy for us, because if we stay within that gap, it's another position gained. We started in 8th, we can get up to 5th. That's a nice net gain overall, especially for the championship and especially for the fun. So going up to this left hand, this is a very tricky corner, by the way. Hard to nail right. Car kept losing the rear a little bit here, but I think this is because I'm getting used to the wheel as well. Obviously the G29 is more gear related, not belt driven as much. As you just see that, weirdly I clipped the curb that time and the weight transfer lost the car. So I'm going to come on circuit, make my indications clear, come slowly onto the circuit, not darting on into the racing line. So I lose 2 positions. I'm back to 8th position, frustratingly, and with 6 damage on the front like last time, but even so, it's not the end of the world, and at the end of the day, we've had a good race so far, so let's see what we can do for the remainder. Let's advance even further on in the race now, and we have Yorkie behind us. Yorkie and Andrex have been making some very good progress in this race. They've obviously got a good strategy for the race, not so much in the qualifying, and they've been making positions all the time throughout, so well played to these 2 drivers. Obviously we raced Andrex at Red Bull Ring, which was an absolutely marvellous race, fantastic race. Awesome to watch and be a part of. Just coming to here, I lose the rear end, mainly probably, I don't know why really, I just lost it. Maybe because it's getting a bit darker, cooler temperatures. I don't do testing, so I've just knocked the downforce back down by 2. Perhaps the rear is now losing its edge, and the fact that it's a new wheel, I can't get the braking quite right, so normally I would trail brake into there. I've got a 30% dead zone in there, so it's much harder to actually nail that perfectly. So we're down a position. This is unusual for us to lose over our qualifying position, but we are at the moment. So we advanced a bit further on in the race, and you probably wondered why there's no TV camera. Well, first of all, you'll see it now. As you see, Alexis just stuck in the middle of the road. We have a lobby split, so several drivers are now racing in a different lobby. We're in one lobby, they're in another, and we're told to continue racing. That's one thing I like about Apex Online Racing. They've got scenarios and situations where they say keep racing if X, Y and Z happens. So we keep racing for now, we can keep pushing. But as I say, you're probably wondering where the TV camera is, so I'm going to get onto that now. The whole lobby does disconnect in the end, and it's going to disconnect a little bit later on in this lap, which is really frustrating. So what they then do is, because it's over halfway in the race, they then give half points and it goes back to the last full lap with all the drivers, which is good. Again, it's so nice to be a part of an organisation or a league where they have all these scenarios in place, so nobody ever loses out in the end, and it's all settled. So really fair play to Apex Online Racing. Do check them out. As I say, we are going to disconnect very soon after we leave the carousel, I think it is. But I hope you enjoyed that video. We've got another one coming up, which is Long Beach. I have raced that one as well. That's a night race, and we're in the city, of course, Long Beach. That was my very first PCars2 video, I think, or one of them, and I did the Ferrari there. However, we're in the Audi R8, and it's a league race. And I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. My logo should hopefully be there if you want to subscribe, and there'll be a video playlist there if you want to watch another Project Cars 2 race. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.